it's driver time. Let's get this driver bombing high with some draw so that you can maximize the distance this time of the year. Obviously, right driver is always super influential because we want to break the back of the hole when it comes to hitting it off the tee. Now, it can be a difficult club to work at the best of times. I wanted to just give you some insights as to why you might want to consider using a stronger hold. Now, what do we mean by a stronger grip? A stronger grip is when we invariably have thought about showing more knuckles. Now, showing more knuckles, I can show the camera more knuckles here, or I could show the camera more knuckles in this orientation. This is the one that I would encourage you to do more of. When the palm of the hand is looking back at your belt line, the forearm rotation is inwards, but unfortunately you will place the club across the palm of the hand. So turn your hand so the back of the hand is looking at your belt line. So you can see in the camera over here that the back of my hand is pointing to the camera. I've rotated my arm externally and then I've gripped the golf club. So I've rotated my hand externally, and now all of a sudden you can see how the club sits in my grip. When we think about this left hand being in that orientation, it allows me to have external rotation of the left forearm, so we can see the forearm is externally rotating. But are you able to see how that club face is not having independent rotation? The face is rotating. It's moving from looking at the camera screen in front of me to now looking at the camera screen behind me. The other form of rotation is of the wrist angle changing, flattening, and the forearm rotation coming around. So actually, face rotation of where we've all talked about the flip has actually come from the change in your wrist orientation. So for all of you golfers out there that have tried to flatten out your left wrist, you are exactly the golfers that are encouraging the flip. How does that go for high shakes? So when you get your hand in this orientation, I now want you to get your right thumb, and I'm just going to move my grip down the club. So you can see I've got a little bit of an end that I can place my thumb on. Then get yourself into your setup, and if you can, try to get the club shaft at 90 to your spine. And then what we're going to try to do is get the golf club to swing. And as you get the golf club to swing around, at this point here, what you might have been used to is feeling the face look down. Now you're able to feel that wrist extension, and if you haven't seen it, my most recent video with the hack motion device, that allows you to cut the left wrist, and it will allow the face to look to the sky. Now, if I was to do this with a weaker hold, first of all, to create force onto the butt of the golf club and to create that wrist extension, you can see how the face would look excessively weak. So I'm going to keep my pad on the hand, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get the sensation that the golf club is going to swing, and as the golf club is swinging, you can see that the club face has got loft on it, and the club face is not flipped. And I relate that and I accentuate that because I will have someone say, oh, but you're flipping the face, Stuart. Nope. The face is merely working around its pivot point, which is the butt of the golf club. The pivot point is now making the face look around to the left. So the face is looking around to the left. The face, if it was flipped, the face would be looking to the floor. So the left-hand grip, by being in that orientation, allows me to feel cup on the left-hand side of the golf ball, so that as I now come through, I can create some upstrike and, look at the launch angle there, and some draw. Now, arguably, that's a little bit too much, but to stress the point that if you're tired of paying too much for premium leather golf gloves, do head over to gxgolfgloves.com, a proud sponsor of my channel. These gloves are trusted by elite amateurs and tour players alike. Use my code GOODCOACHING for 10% off your next order. I'm sure that by the time you get one of these gloves in your hand, you're going to be pumped to get it on and you'll be using them forever. Go check them out. If you're looking for high launching golf shots, and that's certainly something that we're wanting in the winter time, is it not? Because high launch gets the ball out there. So as I feel how this left wrist can start to cup and the club head can unload past me, having a strong left hand is very much something that will give you an opportunity to keep the face straight as you cup your wrist and as you feel the club head overtake you. Because if the club head's overtaking us and we're looking to encourage that cup, we need that face in good orientation. If I had the left hand and the club head overtaking, can you see how actually the club head overtaking now, and I cut the wrist, the face would be meteorically open. So I'm going to make exactly the same move here. I'm going to weaken off my grip. I'm going to unload the face and I'm going to cut my left wrist. Oh, dear me. Now all of a sudden, we've got an upstrike, got a path that's straight, and we've got a face 7 degrees open. So again, grip down the golf club, put your thumb on the butt of the club, lift the head up off the floor, and allow that golf club to swing at the bottom. Swing at the bottom. As you're pushing the butt down with your left hand, you will create the cup, you'll create the loft looking more left. And with a bit of luck, if you start to sense how that left wrist changes shape due to the fact of how you've put it on the golf club, before you know it, you might just well be hitting shots like that. I think you'll find that's good coaching. If you've enjoyed it, do consider subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you next time.